Hi, and welcome back to Musicians Edition Practice With Me for Alto Saxophone. I'm your teacher, Reesa, and today we're working in the Standard of Excellence Book 2. Today we're on page 5, and we're going to be talking and learning about syncopation. Okay, now what is syncopation? Syncopation, well, let's take a look at the top of our book. A rhythmic effect which places emphasis on a weak or unaccented part of the measure. Well, that's a little confusing to me, so let's talk about it further on. So normally we have the quarter note followed by the eighth note, or dotted quarter notes followed by eighths. But with syncopation, it's an eighth note followed by the quarter note. So look in our exercise 17, for example, measure 3, 1 and 2 and. It's going to be a little off from what we usually do things. Normally we do 1 and 2 and, or 1 and 2 and. It's like things like that. But this is 1 and, with it being eighth followed by the quarter. So we just might have to pay a little more attention to our countings when it comes to syncopation. Okay? We're also going to talk about intervals in this lesson, but that's a little further down, so we'll talk about it when we get there. Okay, so let's look at our exercise 17, syncopation sensation. Okay, so first let's take a look at our key signature. What do we have going on? We have 1 sharp, F sharp. Okay, tell me about our time signature. 2, 4. So we're going to be counting in twos. Quarter note still gets the beat. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have going on rhythmically here, right? So our first measure is what we commonly have known throughout the books we've been playing. 1 and 2 and, right? Now with measure 2, pay attention to where that tie is. So it's going to act like 1 and 2 and, okay? Then measure 3 is the same exact rhythm, just written differently, okay? So 1 and 2 and. Okay, now you might be questioning, well, they look different, but they're the same. Why? Okay, so both measures come in on 1. 1, and then the next time we come in is and. And with the tie, it equals the same thing as that quarter note. 2, and then it's both ending on the eighth note, and. Okay, so hopefully it'll make a little more sense when we start playing, okay? And then we're going to repeat the rhythms, just different notes for those last 4 measures, okay? So let's give this a try. We'll do this without the metronome right now, and then we'll add the metronome, because the metronome's really gonna help us make sure that we're consistent and that we're on the right beats. Okay. So this is just to kind of get used to it. Consider it sight reading. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Perfect. Hopefully that made a little bit more sense with where the tie was and how the syncopation works. Okay, let's put it, let's use our metronomes now so we can be a little more precise. So the first thing I need to change on my metronome, 2, 4, and then let's do it at 60. This is a moderate pace, so we'll work our way a little bit faster. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Perfect. Let's do it a little bit faster. Let's go ahead and we're going to skip to 70. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Excellent job. Let's go ahead and move it up to 80. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Excellent job. Let's take a look at the clapping part real quick, okay? So this doesn't look like it really has any syncopation. It looks like it's mainly eighths, and then we have a quarter there right before the breath mark, 4 saxes. Okay, so let's just clap this. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Perfect, not too complicated. So let's split our parts. How about you play the saxophone and I'll do the clapping part. We'll put our metronome back on and yeah, so you play saxophone, I'll clap. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Excellent job. How was that? Perfect. If you struggled with it, it's all right. Make sure you slow it down. Take your time. Really work on those because syncopations, it's not going to go anywhere, friends. Okay, let's swap parts. This time you clap and I'll play saxophone this time. All right, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next exercise, 18, the riddle song. Okay, so take a look at our key signature. What do we have going on this time? We have no sharps, no flats, key of C major. Perfect. Tell me about our time signature. 2, 4. So we're still counting in twos. 1, 2, 1, 2. Tell me about our tempo. Moderato, so the same tempo we were playing before. Perfect. All right, and do we have any syncopation in this piece? We do. Take a look at full measure 2, right? And then we have 1, 2, 3, measure 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. So we do have some syncopation in here. Tell me about our dynamics. Mezzo piano, kind of soft. And it's that way throughout the whole piece. Okay, and one more thing. We do have a pickup note. Okay, so that means when I count us off, that means I'm going to do 1, 2, 1, play. Okay? Great. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just start with our metronomes on. Let's start it back at 60. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 1. Excellent job. That one is a little more involved there, isn't there? Oop, I just noticed. The book is telling us to write in the counts and then clap the rhythm before we play. So we already played, but let's go ahead and write our countings in anyway. So go ahead and take a moment to write those in. And I'm gonna write mine in too. So if you're still writing your counts in, go ahead and pause the video, then start the video when you're ready. So let's take a look at these counts. I'm gonna clap and count kind of at the same time, and then we'll clap it together. Okay, so remember we are starting with the pickup, so that's going to land on 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1. Okay, so now I want you to clap along with me, okay? I'm still gonna count out loud, but we're both going to clap. All right, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay, so let's play this again at 60 now that we've gone over the countings and the rhythms. So same thing at 60, and then we'll work our way up. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 1. Excellent job. So something you'll have to kind of pay attention to as well. We do have those breath marks in every 4 measures, right? And we need to make sure we don't take too big of a breath because that's going to put you behind. It's going to put that first 8th note where it's on the end of 2, it's going to put you on 1 and you're going to be far behind. So make sure you pay attention to that. If you happen to get off a little bit, that might be the area to check. Okay, but for video's sake, we're going to have to go ahead and move on. So let's speed it up to 70, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 1. Excellent job. Let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit more. Let's do it to 80. Ready? 1, 2, 1. Excellent job. All right, let's go ahead and move on to exercise 19. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Most of us probably have heard this song before, so that helps. But anywho, tell me about our key signature. What do we have going on? We have 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Perfect. What key does that put us in? Do you remember? D major. If you need a little help figuring it out, you can check out this major or minor video here. Okay, so do we have syncopation in this piece or no? We do. It starts us off that way. So even measure 1. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you might want to go ahead and just Yeah, let's just mark in our countings for this too, just so we don't get into bad habits and we can understand syncopation a little better. So go ahead and write your counts in too. Okay, if you're still writing your counts in, pause the video, start it over when you are done. And not start it over, I mean continue on. Okay, so let's take a look at our counts. Okay, so it's 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so some of these measures you'll have to really pay attention to on the counting. So like measure 1, the 8th note lands on 1, quarter note lands on and 2, 8th note lands on and. We have 3, 4 for the dotted quarter, and then an and on the 8th. 1, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay, so let's give this a try. Let's bring this back down to 60. There we go. Okay. Oh, one more thing. What happened to our time signature? Went to 4. I didn't even catch that when we were writing our times or our counts in. Did you catch it? Let me know in the comments if you did. Extra points for you. Okay. 4, 4. Okay, and now 60. All right. Let's play. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. All right, let's speed this up a little bit. So let's go on to 70. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. All right, let's do it one more time. Let's move it up to 80. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent job. All right, let's go ahead and move on to exercise 20, interval inquiry. So, intervals, that's something we're talking about on the top of the page here. So take a look at the top, and that means the distance between any two notes. That's pretty simply put. So, taking a look back down to our exercise, see there where it goes G to A, and that's a second interval. Take a listen. Now, when you're also looking on the staff, it's only one note above, okay? 1, 2. That's really a good way to take a look at it is, well, I mean, it is the distance between two notes. So 1, 2. So that means your third will be third from your beginning note. So there in the next measure, here's 1, second interval, third interval. That means our fourth will be C, right? And so on and so forth. Now, why is this important? Well, first, it's important because, well, when you're playing with a band or even just a trio, even a duet, you gotta listen. It's so important to listen and to know what these sound like, even together. So, I mean, we'll get to that later. But it's important to know. And it'll also help if you do any improvising or solos, knowing your intervals and what fits in the scale, that's gonna help you tremendously. So, let's see, the book wants us to sing this exercise using the numbers before you play. Okay. So that would mean we have 1, 2. The intervals are gonna sound just like our scale. So, G. Get your note. Ooh. Okay, so let's just go down the line. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8. So first off, the book's crazy for having us sing it before we play. That's kind of an advanced thing, or more advanced thing. It is important to sing because it'll help you, it just helps internalize, man, it's so hard to explain. It's like an oral skills thing where you hear it in your head and then you hear it out loud. That's what it's like. Okay, so we attempted singing it, so let's now just play it with our saxes, okay? So I'm not going to put tempo on this one because this is one where we're kind of listening to, okay? So we're going to take this slow though, and I want you to really listen to the intervals and think about where they are, what they are, okay? Ready? And taking a look at your key signature, it's F sharp. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, second. Perfect. Now, when you're practicing on your own, I think it really would be best if you play your saxophone first to this exercise. Now, please come back to this exercise. But play your saxophone to this exercise and then sing it. So let's sing it again. Ready? There's a note. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8. That one's gonna take some practice. Okay. Let's do it one more time, playing our saxophones, really listening to the tone, really paying attention to the interval, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Now, if you really want to work on your intervals and singing, I do have some tricks, but you're going to have to watch the video instead of me explaining it here. So yeah, watch the intervals video here. That'll help you sing it too. All right, let's take a look at our last exercise of the day, 21, Go for Excellence. Okay, so first take a look at our key signature. What do we have going on? We have 1 sharp, F sharp. What key signature is that though? Is it major, minor? And which major or minor is it? Is G major. Great. All right, tell me about our time signature. Back to 2, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. This time we don't have a pickup note. But look ahead. Okay, so look at the time signature on the second line. What happens? It's going to switch to 4, 4. Interesting, right? All right, so, and we do have some syncopation, so let's take a moment before we start to write our counts in again. Remember, it switches to 4, 4. Go ahead and circle that in. Most likely we're going to miss it anyway. Perfect. If you're still writing it in, pause the video and start it when you're done. Okay, so here are our counts. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 1, 2. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. There's a little bit of switching back between syncopation and not syncopated in those last 4 measures, so we'll really need to pay attention. Okay, so I'm going to just keep my metronome on 4, even though it is 2. Okay, so I mean, the bottom note's still 4, so it's still doable. 1, 2, 3, 4, and and it'll catch up. Okay, so let's bring this down to 6D. You know what? No, let's start this one at 70 because our tempo is what? Allegro, which means it's going to be faster. So let's start us off at 70, okay? Ready? You can do this. 1, 2, 1, 2. Perfect. You see how we were still able to use 4, 4 for our metronome? You could use 2, 4 as well. It would also work. Okay, let's speed it up. Let's move it up to 80. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Perfect. Now, this song probably may sound familiar to some people may not. Let me know in the comments if you recognize the song. Okay, let's speed it up a little bit more. Let's really skip ahead to, let's do 95, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Excellent job. We really did go for excellence, right? All right, there's an achievement there at the end. Let's take a look at what the achievement is. Let's see, what was that? Exercise 21. We covered notes and rhythm, hand position, dynamics, and tempo. I didn't go over the dynamics with us. On this one, I only looked at it for one exercise. But it was mezzo, forte, and forte, and I'm going to assume you already played that, because that's where we like to play naturally. And hopefully you're having good hand position. And we've most definitely concentrated on our rhythms and counting today. If you have any further questions, comments, concerns, please let me know in the comments. While you're down there, don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and notify so you don't miss any of our practices. Thanks for joining, and until next time.